Hey guys, welcome back to the table. This is Finding a Toria. It is a TTRPG podcast where a group of friends sits around and uses their experience in the TTRPG world and talks about things that might be of interest to the community. Today, I have with me Malcolm.
Hello.
And Jess.
Hi.
And a call out to our delightful pretty bird who is away on vacation far away.
Yep.
Having wonderful adventures.
Absolutely. We're going to hear a lot about that, I hope, when she returns. And we don't have dice today.
We don't have dice today. Oh,
Why don't we
goodness.
have dice today?
Well, because we are at a different location.
We picked up and moved.
We moved the whole studio.
Uh-huh.
Which is sort of cool.
It's remarkably easy to do.
Yeah, sort of scary how easy it is. So we are in Indianapolis today, which is super fun.
It is. It's also serendipitous because...
What is coming this weekend to Indianapolis?
Gen Con
2025.
The best 4 days in gaming is their copywritten motto, I believe.
Oh, I like that. That's a pretty
4
good motto.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about Gen Con because, hey, like who can talk about being involved in TTRPGs and not have a conversation about Gen Con?
The granddaddy of them all, yes.
The opportunity for all of us who are, I don't know, complete geeks, nerds, fans. Yeah, I don't know.
I know there's a difference between geek and nerd, but since I'm both of them, I've never really kept track of what the difference actually
The
is.
Venn diagram doesn't matter.
Like,
when
there is actually a Venn diagram of what counts as each one of those things, but yeah, I'm kind of all of them. So, you know.
It's a Rorschach's test to me anyway. I don't know.
So, yeah, we are actually really excited for this weekend because Finding a Toria and our parent company, Wordleaf Media, is heading to Gen Con, and not just as fans, as we have done in the past, but for business purposes.
Be networking.
Oh, networking.
Yes.
And testing out products.
Testing and networking. So we have the opportunity to come back with a whole lot of content from this venture. But kind of interested in doing some con things that aren't working too. I know we've gone over this and I get pouty every time because we are going to work this year.
Malcolm gets very pouty about not being able to play at Gen Con.
I want to go fuck around at Gen Con, man. I don't know. So we went last year as fans for my birthday.
Yes.
And it was very fun. Let's harken back before we get into, I don't know, I don't want to steal the rhythm of this, but I thought that was a good place to start. That was my first time going.
Yeah. I had never been to Gen Con either, actually, sad as that is today, for however many years that we have gamed and had fun and done all this stuff, had never gone to Gen Con, and really sad when you live in Indianapolis.
Right. It's not as though we need to board a flight to get, and people are coming from all over the world. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, for me, it was part of it is the size.
I'll be quite honest with you. That is a throng of people.
Yeah.
That is an absolute mass of humans sometimes.
Yeah. And so for me, the avoidance, I think, for a long time was you talk about not needing to fly in or do anything like that. It's like, okay, let's just talk about getting downtown through all of the, traffic and the masses of people that are down there. You're parking blocks and blocks away from the convention center because there's so much down there. It's just, I don't know, it tires me out. But I will say I had a really good time last year.
I did too.
It was overwhelming.
I was sleep deprived and I was overwhelmed, but I had a wonderful time. What's one of the things that you remember from Gen Con that you did enjoy?
Well, for me, actually kind of the reason I didn't go before, because I'd been hearing about Gen Con for ages. Like I had nerdy friends who told me about it and I was like, oh my God, you can't live in Indianapolis as a nerd and not go to Gen Con. But then none of them actually went while I was hanging out with them. So
It seems like that thing, yeah. Like,
Right?
oh, that's
Like-
that's awesome. You got to go to that. Me?
Right.
No, I've
They'd
never
already
been.
been. Like, I hadn't lived in Indiana. I was a more recent transplant to Indianapolis. I'd just moved from Tokyo, and I hadn't been. They all had, and they just weren't. It wasn't a big priority for them, so they just didn't go. And then they were telling, "Oh yeah, you need to go to Gen Con."
So
And I was faced with going by myself.
right.
So last year I actually had a group of friends, the wonderful Finding a Toria crew, who wanted to go. I'm like, all right, sweet. I can finally go with people and not try to go by myself.
So that's, I guess, a question I was having is, and I'd be intrigued if our listeners would get out on our socials and maybe answer this question. I know people who do Gen Con, they do it year in and year out. And then I feel like there's others who are sort of like, yeah, okay, I did that. And it's almost like a once in a lifetime type experience that they don't necessarily feel like they need to do again. Do you think that was your friend's situation? Like they were like, okay, yeah, you're a total geek. You're into all this stuff. You need to at least go do Gen Con once, but hey, I've already done it. I don't need to go do it again. I mean, is it like a Disney World trip type of thing?
And I was getting
like...
ready to say, because there are those people too. What a great association with Disney's, because you've got people that you're going to meet in line that are there every day.
Yes.
Every day.
That's actually a really good comparison because prior to Tokyo, guess where I lived? Orlando.
Yeah, you
Sure. and like there are people where it's just, can't get enough of it. It is the coolest thing to them. And then you get that ritualization of it too.
right.
What's new? A little bit of FOMO. I've been the last 3 years, man. These guys are going to be here this year. It becomes like, I don't know, your favorite bands come to town.
Right.
We got to get tickets. It's going to be, and it just becomes that fandom thing. I think I enjoyed myself last year, but I also remember leaving going, whew, that was a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was my first time going, so I did not know what to expect from it. But that was a lot.
I think for me it was the crowds. It was just the sheer press of people was overwhelming. I enjoy sociality. Throngs of people is a bit much for me, so it's a battery drainer. It
the
just
stutter
pulls
steppers
that
it's
energy
the people
out.
that don't have self-awareness in a big crowd of people and just stop walking. They don't veer off to the side. They don't, and we're just going to shuffle and kind of mill around for a while.
What about for you, Jess?
Honestly, for me, yeah, Gen Con might be that I'm satisfied with the once. I mean, if I get invited to go again, then I'm not going to say
Like you
no.
experienced it and you're good.
But if I don't actually go again, I will be content with that.
Okay.
Like if, say, we all go as a group in future years or something, I'm definitely not going to say no because I have some major friend FOMO. I'm not going to let all my friends go to a thing that I have been invited to without me. Oh no. But if that didn't happen, I'd be okay. And a lot of it is just the sheer number of people there.
it's a
and
bunch of people.
My best friend's mom actually has a saying to describe this that she likes to use for situations like this. It was butts to nuts.
Yes, that's a good description.
I've heard that one. I've heard it's elbows and assholes.
Yeah,
Everywhere
yeah.
you go.
Yep.
But that's kind of, and it's not only that. It reminds me, we use the Disney thing. It reminds me a little bit of Vegas, where not only is it a whole bunch of people and everyone's trying to get your attention.
Oh,
it's a convention.
Yeah.
Everything's meant to be big, meant to catch your eye. Voices are loud. Things are popping off all around you, and for the convention, I guess the people that have tables, that is such a small space.
Yes.
And you are right next to us. And now some of them can pay for, more in location. I'm positive that there's a science to it. But you go around like where we got our paintings from.
Yeah. Oh, we got some brilliant artwork.
Amazing
last year.
artwork.
Yeah.
But that was just so packed. And I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there going like, okay, I want to see your stuff too. And I also appreciate you. And I'm sorry, there's 16 people I can't get over to you. And yeah, and it's a battery drain in that way.
Yeah. Now, for me, I guess I want to point out for people, like, I am not trying to say don't do Gen Con. Like, it is amazing what you get to see, what you get to experience, the art. I mean, and not when I say that, I'm not just talking about, like, say, printed art to hang on a wall, but whether that is, there's so much that people have created that is there that is so amazing to see, and having it all in that area. Almost one of my favorite things is going from place to place on the hall, and seeing what creators have created, and getting to admire that, and to maybe if I decide to spend some money, take some home with me. And some of it, don't get me wrong, some of it you could find on Amazon, for some booths, but a lot of them, these are unique original artists putting their stuff out there, and some really, really cool stuff. And let's not forget all of the various different events in the different halls. I mean, truly, there is just something for everyone to participate in. Last year, I wanted to talk about, I'll be honest, I'm not really into watching live gameplay.
Sure.
I'm someone who I really, really enjoy watching the episodes, of Critical Role's games, that are the animated series and all of that, Vox Machina. But I don't sit and watch Critical Role live play.
Sure.
Like, it's just not, I'd rather be playing. But I'm like that in everything. Like, I don't understand, my children watch YouTube and they watch someone play their favorite game. And I'm like, why don't you just play the game? So that's just so many people do it. I just don't understand it. That's totally fine. That's me. But we went to a live play session last year with some really big names in the TTRPG world. Yeah. And it was amazing.
It was fantastic. I thought that the panel was cool. I thought that group that we saw had Ed Greenwood and some other people in it. It was very entertaining. It was also not cramped space.
True. Because it wasn't very busy. I guess, Jess, you were there with us. What did you think of watching the live play? Do you enjoy watching live play?
I guess it depends.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that that's like if it's live play, I'm going to love it. But if it's the right thing, then yeah. And it was interesting getting to see people who were so involved in the TTRPG world, like, since I'm so new to the TTRPG thing, it kind of feels like, all right, I'm like watching TTRPG royalty here do their thing.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, serious.
Okay. So now I can see how they play and how that differs from my own experience playing. And that was interesting to be able to compare that. I have watched some of the live play of Critical Role, which was interesting to compare to how that ended up as the Vox Machina cartoon. But I think that's the only one thus far. I don't spend a huge amount of time on that, though. So I think that's, live play might be an occasional thing if it's the right thing, but not really a big use of my time, I guess.
I really liked how at the session we went to, so I would honestly fully recommend this for anybody if you haven't done it, is the audience participation. It just made the game hilarious and fun. I mean, and it was silly stuff like what they went to the Walmart because that, they said, hey, give us a store or give us a place or something like that. And someone from the crowd yelled out Walmart. And so now they had to put Walmart into a fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons.
The mart where you buy all the walls.
And so, so they took it literally and it was the Walmart and there was all these different walls.
You can purchase any wall that it was a wall emporium. It was fantastic.
And, they did other stuff with that too. I think they pulled Taco Bell into it at one point,
But it was that engagement of it that was so fun. Now that live play is not my favorite thing to watch. I'm like you, I'd rather have dice and be, kind of in the world. What I found kind of neat about trying to, and I don't know if you guys find yourselves doing this, you ever have to explain TTRPG or D&D things to somebody who's just knows nothing about it, and you have to like put an association in there?
Not often, but yes.
So I'm trying to explain the magnitude of being in that room with Ed up there, and why I was there and why we took our time to do that, to people that have no concept of who it is, what a role-playing game is, and thinks that Dungeons and Dragons was a cartoon from the 80s that they did never voluntarily watch. And I was like, man, it would be if you went to a convention and it was about football. You like football? Go ahead. Peyton Manning's throwing passes. Joe Montana's throwing passes. And you get to just watch him play catch for a while.
And if you're lucky, you might get to catch a pass.
Sure,
it's
one, and he's going to ask you what play to run next. It's just making those comparatives, but it was cool to be in a room with those people and to see them do that.
Yeah. So I guess what really stood out to you? I mean, I know, Jess, like you've gone to other cons. I know you've done Comic-Con and stuff in the past. Is there anything to you that really stood out differently for Gen Con compared to other cons that you've been to? Or does it sort of feel like it's a con, it's just big? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think I've been to 3 cons total in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of them were Indianapolis Comic-Con.
Okay.
And
which is not Gen Con.
Nope, it is not.
Yep.
And while I had a great time at Gen Con, I think the sheer size and also just the what was there meant that I do actually like Comic-Con better because there's just more that's targeted to my interests at Comic-Con. Like, there were more panels that I wanted to see.
Sure.
Last year's Comic-Con, I saw Felicia Day and Will Wheaton. And the first time I went to Comic-Con, I got to see Sean Astin and then James and Oliver Phelps.
Sure.
They got asked weird questions about, can you read each other's minds?
Yeah.
They're twins, like, not magic. But like that was more your thing. Up my street than a lot of what was at Gen Con, and also just the stuff that there was to buy. There was oddly like more D&D dice and stuff like that at Comic-Con, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think the interesting part where maybe people, maybe I'm wrong. I know I maybe had a misconception or not a full conception as to how much TTRPG is influenced in Gen Con when it's not just TTRPG. I mean, it's games. And so there's so much there of different kinds of games and game creators and game testers and that was really intriguing to me of how much broader it was.
Right. It was not your swords and sorcery only, and it was not 20-sided die dependent. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that might actually have been one of the reasons why Gen Con didn't quite feel as much my thing.
Because you're focused on the TTRPG.
Yeah, TTRPG, and also like I had a specific focus at Comic-Con, which was get dice for people, track down Timothy Zahn because he's my favorite Star Wars author, and go to these panels. Like there was just more that
suited
suited me, I guess, because giant Star Wars nerds.
Sure.
Meeting Timothy Zahn again.
Yeah.
But like Gen Con, I think was just like kind of overwhelming in terms of the amount of choice. Like I don't know what to focus on here. Like I don't know what to do now.
There's a whole, and that's the other thing. I didn't do Comic-Con with you guys last year, so I don't have the comparative, but it is Gen Con to me is a convention in its truest way, in that you have that exhibit hall, but you've also got constant round-the-clock breakout room.
Oh, yeah.
Just filled with different sessions. You could spend the entire weekend there and never walk into the exhibit hall once.
Right.
It's just that busy and that deep of an event.
The thing that I am really excited about, and I will own, like last year, I think I did not leverage what was available at Gen Con as much as maybe I could have.
Sure.
Having been and also doing what we're doing now, I am actually super geeked out for Gen Con this year. There's an entire hall where, from morning to night, they are testing new games.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking cool is that? I want to go in and I want to see what are these new games?
Mm-hmm.
What are we looking to for the future? Our in our conversations about what's coming to the TTRPG world,
Sure.
Are we on target with that?
Right.
Because these are where the creators are. This is where they're testing it out. And it's, again, not just TTRPGs, it's games,
Yep.
And then I geeked out. My compatriots here at the table can totally attest to this. There's an entire day at Gen Con that is called Trade Day.
Mm-hmm. On Wednesday.
I don't know if people are familiar with this, but if you've listened to the majority of our shows, you'll know that very early on, I brought a couple of topics to the table about using games in education. And they have like an entire day for educators and librarians discussing like
free.
seminars, symposiums, whatever, how to gamify a classroom. And I just geeked out. I was like, I want to sit in those rooms all day, every day and learn all that can be done there.
So that is the trade days on Wednesday, and they have those symposiums through there. And then the other thing that you were talking about, I think, is the first exposure playtest hall.
Yes.
Where it is just everybody's got a time and a spot and a slot, and you get to feature your game and people can come in and play it. I interrupted you, I think. I'm sorry.
I was just going to piggyback off of what Katie was saying with, or what Arcadia was saying that about the that trade day is that like it's not just about the educators. I mean, that's a particular interest of Arcadia's, but like there's a particular interest of mine there as well. Because I'm particularly interested in like languages and linguistics, and I've studied this at the master's degree level, and particularly kind of where hit my own mic there. Sorry. How all of that can be used to prevent or delay cognitive decline like dementia. And
yeah, we did see one of the
whole-
symposiums was on
right?
that.
There's a
yeah.
whole panel about how games can also help prevent that. It's like, okay, so now we've got a
There's a
That
connection there.
intersection
Right?
of those two things is absolutely incredible. And I think that I think it just gives more value to the best 4 days in gaming, that there's a fifth day that's about education.
Right?
That there's an entire trade day dedicated to, hey, what are the benefits of all of the fun that we're about to have this weekend? How can we actually channel that, harness it, and apply it in all of those different theaters that you guys just discussed? I think it's so cool.
Well, and to, I guess, expound upon both of those things that you guys just said is, trade day is explained as a day for educators, professors,
Librarians.
students, librarians, things like that, and retailers of those markets. But, there are now seminars that they're having about, like you said, like dementia. How does gaming help dementia? How does, talking about the things we've talked about on the show before about how gaming, TTRPGs, I know we focus on, helps in therapy. It helps in there's so many ways that there are literal health benefits to gaming. And so I would love and I don't know if this is where they're going or what's happening, but to have, if you're going to have a trade day and it's about professionals, to have, health experts, because we're getting more and more data back from research that shows, gaming is really good for people for a lot of different reasons in regards to health.
Those applications are really impressive, and I like that they're doing it.
I do too.
I'm a corny dude. I'm gonna focus on the food trucks a lot, but fact that that's all going down is it's incredible. And I don't know, I think this will come out to our large feed the day after trade days. It'll be next Thursday as Gen Con kicks off. So if you have participated in, or more about those panels and what goes on Wednesday, and maybe you're in that space, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, it's very cool. So I think we're probably about at a good time to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what we're going to be doing at Gen Con this year.
2025.
2025. All right. We'll talk to you after the break.
This episode of Finding a Tori is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. The Finding a Tori podcast is looking for guests for our upcoming episodes. Are you or someone you know passionate about the TTRPG community and have a story to share? If so, contact us on our socials or reach out at wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. And now back to your program.
Hey guys, welcome back to the table after our break. This is Finding a Toria, and we are talking Gen Con.
Gen Con 5 days away.
Yeah,
Check
we are sort of geeking out about having an opportunity to go to Gen Con. And I think for me, the big thing this year is that we get to go for business purposes.
Correct.
Versus just going as a fan. Not that going as a fan is not fun, but I don't know. I'm really
secretly
geeked out.
doing both, but yes, it's very awesome to kind of be in the space and have a place in the community. This will be our 25th episode, so as a podcast, it's kind of neat to be talking about Gen Con, that little milestone marker. Yeah, just very excited. So
let's talk a little bit about what we want and are going to be doing at this week while Gen Con is here. We are going to meet some people.
We're going to meet some people, and we've got to bring back some intel for folks that are not going this year.
Yes.
And some information, but we're gonna stop at a few places, but I think one of them that we're definitely going to visit is our new friends. I guess I'll go ahead and
go ahead.
Shout them
I'm
out
like,
a little
I'm
bit.
waiting. I'm like, throw it out there. Throw it out there.
So you can find us as everywhere, but we will stop by the Adventure Sense by Oddfish Games table, and hopefully do some play testing. Hang out with them for a little while. They have a podcast that we've kind of grown to enjoy, and we're talking to them, so we're going to stop by there. But one of the things that you already said, and I'm going to jump back to it, I'd like to spend some time in First Exposure Playtest Hall.
Yeah, definitely. Very much so. I really want to see some of these new games. And even in the exhibit hall, not just in the First Exposure Playtest Hall, but in the exhibit hall, a lot of times there are, games being played, people can come sit down, test things out.
Yep.
And so what I am really looking forward to is sitting down and playing games, so that we can come back here and share with all of you guys what's really cool out there. Absolutely. Or maybe, hey, this was a total flop. Sorry.
Right.
So, if people are listening and I would love to hear what their favorite games are, or if you guys, because this is coming out, like Malcolm said, really sort of coinciding with the actual weekend, even though we're recording it a little bit ahead of time. I would love to hear if you went and you tried out games, which ones were your favorites.
Sure.
And, or maybe you've done stuff in the past and what did you enjoy there, or, would recommend people do. Cause, I want people to be able to walk away from this and have some really fun ideas of things they can do while they're there.
Sure.
And I am so excited to go to our booth with Oddfish.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've reached out and connected with wonderful people in Indiana in the TTRPG space, have some really interesting products out there for gaming.
Good stories to tell. I think that we're going to get them on. I think that we're going to do some interviews, if that sounds fun to anybody, to interview people.
I think it sounds fun.
Yeah, sounds pretty fun to me.
Perfect. Good deal. Then we will try to do that, and then we're going to make some other connections, but we also have a bit of business to do Thursday night.
Yes. And actually, just so people are, we're going to be at Gen Con Friday. We should maybe put that out on our socials ahead of time. We're going to have Finding a Toria, or at least I will have a Finding a Toria shirt on.
Sure.
And
look for the logo.
Yeah.
And we'll have a few stickers. Is it okay to hand out things if you don't have a table?
I think as long as we're not charging for them.
No. It'll be free. Like, we're going to force you to get stickers.
We'll just go around putting stickers on people. people everywhere.
So if you see us, please come out and say something. That would be the coolest thing in the world. And yeah, I'm looking forward to so much there. I have a question for Jess, though, before I talk about what I'm really looking forward to. Do you remember what you ate last year at Gen Con?
Oh, okay. I just got to throw out there. Malcolm is like obsessed with the food trucks at Gen Con. So if there's nothing else you take away from this episode, recognize that the food at Gen Con, you need to go try.
I ate walking tacos last year. Or a walking taco, I suppose. I did not have more than one.
It was so hot. It was absolutely
it was so hot
brutal.
outside.
It was miserable.
And like the entire meal was trying to find shade and a place to
And
sit
a place
down.
to sit.
And there was
it
neither.
was so worth it.
The food trucks are really actually very amazing. 30 food trucks.
I ate taco stuff out of a chip bag.
I had I would say Mexican food as well, but it wasn't the walking tacos.
Yeah, I don't think that was,
mine was more like street tacos. It was so good.
Yeah.
What was did you have the po' boy last year?
I had the po' boy last year.
Oh yeah.
I am looking forward to a couple. We are not being paid by anyone to shout out food trucks, but there is actually a pierogi off that can happen. There are 2 pierogi food trucks that are listed, one being Pierogi Love, and then you have the competing The Forking Pierogi, which just brings back Johnny Dangerously.
Absolutely.
Get me the Forking Pierogi.
Oh, that's awesome.
But so I think that for science, if
You will
I'm
have
able
to test out both pierogies.
I will have to have a pierogi off there, and then Union Jack Pub has a truck there, and they're one of I love Union Jack pubs.
So Malcolm will spend half the day eating and the other half the day feeling sick. Because of eating.
We got to get all of our business out of the way before lunch. And then, so I'm excited about that. But then Thursday night, we have an interesting opportunity, and we'll come back and say some things about it.
Yeah, so really interesting. I think people would not be surprised to hear that with Gen Con, Critical Role is in town.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually doing a live session in a suburb of Indianapolis, Fishers, this week. I think they're doing a couple of live sessions.
I imagine.
I've seen tickets for that actually for like the past year on sale. And Finding a Toria had the benefit, I guess, or the, I don't know, right word to use, but we got invited to a nice little meet and greet with Darrington Press.
Yeah, they're going to be doing content creator meet and greet. And it's at a location, it's at a time, but it was by invitation. We showed a little interest in it and got an invite. And are kind of excited about that. I don't know all of the ins and outs of the Darrington Press Meet and Greet, but we will find out and look forward to meeting some other people in the community, trading ideas, and meeting some folks that are involved in what's up next for that company, and hearing what their plans are over at Darrington Press and Critical Role, and kind of being in the room as a media content creator for that.
Yeah,
So,
I'm really
very
excited to sort of see
cool. Who wears flip-flops?
just maybe not see is the right word, but talk to other creators, and especially with us just coming off of exploring Daggerheart and the Daggerheart release and everything like that. Had a really good time playing that game. I'm intrigued to talk to people who are looking at creating content in that world. I think it'd be really interesting.
Very cool. Very cool. From an author standpoint, Jess, if I could hit you with a question, is there anything from that frame of mind that you got from Gen Con last year, or if you went back, would be interested in exploring more at Gen Con? Were there I saw a lot of tables that did have books and authors there. Did you do any perusing around of that kind, or no?
I did. I mean, I'm not going to go to a place that has tables selling books and not look at the books.
I was going to say.
Like, that would be sacrilege.
Jess is looking at Malcolm like, are you crazy
I
to
just
ask
got
this
the
question? Of course I looked at the books.
Have you met me? Glare.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what we'll call
I know,
that one.
I thought you knew me, but maybe I have to reconsider this.
Like, that's more of a reader perspective.
Sure.
Like, but it, as a writer myself, it would really be very cool to one day have my own table where I've got my books for sale and I can sign them for people and things like that. Because like that's something to aspire to. Because right now, like the publishing process is, well, first gonna be finish the damn book.
That's a T-shirt and a button.
Yes, it is.
But then publish it digitally.
Sure.
Having a physical book to
Right.
sell at a table at a con is like a step beyond
Sure.
the initial publication. So if I can get to that point where I've got physical books, like we have actually published physical books
Yes.
for me to sign and sell,
Yes.
that would be amazing. So yeah, I want that.
So
I want to be there.
Let's write that down on the big list.
Right.
Is Jess signs books at Gen Con.
Right.
All right. I like it to get there. There's so much that I think that is just going to be, once again, overwhelming. But kind of going in this role, in this setting, with the mindset of probably network and market a little bit while we're here, and just being able to play new games and talk about new games. We do dwell in what I consider almost our trinity of go-to TTRPGs, because it's what we enjoy playing at a table. But I think that we're all also kind of open to trying out what's new and exploring.
Yeah, that sort of has me honestly the most geeked out. Is I really want to, I'll be honest, I think Daggerheart sort of did that for me.
It did. It kind of unlocked. We can do new games.
We
It is
can do
possible to do new games.
And so I really would like to see what else is out there. And we're not going to spend a lot of time diving into this on this episode. We might go ahead and tackle it on another episode. But the recent change in ownership for World of Darkness back to White Wolf. I'm intrigued. They had a really great booth at Gen Con last year.
Yep.
I'd be really interested to check out that booth, talk to people this year, and maybe get some just information about where they think things are going for World of Darkness.
It's such an interesting property in history. I think that we could do an episode on it because there's enough to talk about there. But it's something that I kind of want to see what space different games are taking up, where people are positioned and what's drawing crowds. So I'm looking forward to looking at the convention with a different eye this year, for sure.
Now, I'm going to say, Malcolm, I think, am I going to lose you in the strategy war game section?
Only if you don't stay there. Yeah. I mean,
if you're looking for Malcolm,
I'm a little over 6'2", so I'm hard to miss. But yeah, if you just walk the hell away, that will happen because I am staying there for a while.
Yeah, you're going to be camped out.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to that too, because it's not just the TTRPGs, and every time that you go to one of these things, I hope that it unlocks something new. I hope that the time spent is worthy of that, and that we find new games. And we're definitely going to have stuff to talk about, to come back and talk about the people and talk about the experience. And we want to hear from you guys too. I think that it would be so neat for people that were like, hey, I didn't see you there. I was on Saturday, but boom, 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 this was cool. Go out on social media and talk to us about it. We're going to have this episode posted as Gen Con begins on Thursday of next. So excited.
Very cool. Well,
I have facts too. I just wanted to, if I did the research, I want to say
okay.
A couple.
So I do think this is cool. I think this would be a great time. I think we jumped into this conversation with an assumption that, if we say Gen Con, everybody knows Gen Con.
Sure.
And I think maybe everybody knows sort of the concept of Gen Con, but if you haven't been in the gaming world for a long time, maybe you don't know all about it. So I know you did do some history and information. I'm sort of curious. What did you find out? Tell us about Gen Con.
It's interesting that you brought up the wargaming portion, because that's kind of how it started. And it was 1968 in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and name that just about everybody knows is Gary Gygax.
I was just going to say, is its creation with the foundation of like Dungeons and Dragons and all the stuff that went into building that? Because I know that started with war games.
And it did. These were war gamers before they were TTRPG creators. Mm-hmm. That's kind of, how the groups met in creating games from that history of playing massive, war strategy games. But yeah, so it's been in Indy since 2003 is when it migrated to Indianapolis. Takes place this year and most years at the Indiana Convention Center. Last year, 71,000 unique visitors.
Wait. Did we say it was a crush of people? How did you describe that, Jess?
Butts to nuts?
Yes.
And you've got your episode title. Gen Con.
Butts to nuts.
Oh gosh, that's not a button. So yes,
we might need T-shirts with that.
71,000 unique
My
butts.
friend's mom will be very proud.
And that's kind of really all that I had on it. Is it started out as a way to get like-minded people that were into the hobbies and growing the hobbies together to share information. And it started as a very small thing. Sometimes things start small, like ThursCon, but it grew and it's kind of become it's definitely the largest. There are other TTRPG conventions, of course, everywhere, but that is the big stage. That's the grand palace to display your. So when you think about that and you think about how many people are going to be there, and you're a game creator and you've got this space and time inside First Exposure Playtest Hall, that's huge.
That is huge.
That's your Super Bowl for testing your product. So I hope that we get a whole bunch of opportunities to sample games. I can't wait to see and spend some time with Radiance, which is the TTRPG bracket sort of apparatus and system that Oddfish has put out.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to get hands-on with that.
We're going to do a little bit of play test on that, and hopefully we'll have some opportunity to interact with their team and their products while we're at Gen Con. But you'll be hearing more about them from us, because we kind of like what they're doing and like to shed light and have light shed in our community. So
yeah,
those were I didn't have a whole bunch of fun facts, but those were some fun facts about Gen Con.
I actually love the fact that, so I'm from Wisconsin originally, and Lake Geneva is this small town community in Wisconsin, and I think most of the people in the world have no clue about Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And yet within the TTRPG world, it's like you say Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and everybody's ears go up, right, and everybody's like, Lake Geneva?
Really? Are you getting ready to say something about Dungeons and Dragons?
Right, exactly.
It is. It's one of those interesting call-out things.
It's a beautiful, beautiful community. It's great for vacationing in, but yeah, it's just sort of funny.
This episode brought to you by the Chamber of Commerce
of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Yeah, we could be sponsored by so many people.
I know, dude. We're just giving free plugs. Like, visit the Union Jack Pub in Lake Geneva. There isn't one, but yeah, we're just name dropping. Good fun.
There is one. It's just in Indianapolis. Not
right.
Well, not in Lake Geneva. Well, I mean, I don't know. I've not. Be fair, like I haven't spent a lot of time in Lake Geneva. I've driven through and by.
I am aware that it exists. You're nowhere unless Flotsimus Judge has played your city, and I'm not sure that they've.
Well, they did go to Nebraska. I mean, come on.
Maybe they made it up as far north. We are off the rails.
We are
Remember
so off the rails. All right. Well, I do think, we're probably about done with our Gen Con conversation.
We'll do a follow-up, though.
But yeah, we're going to have a follow-up, because I really want to bring back to everybody the things that we've tested out. I'm so excited to talk about those things afterwards. So keep tuned to our show. We are going to come back to you with new games, new information, and if you are going to Gen Con, we hope you have fun, and maybe we'll see you there.
Stay safe and save me a pierogi.
Thanks for joining us at the table, guys.
Bye.